Okay, we're going to be using the exercises from the primary set, um, expelling the chi, to connect to coiling, Tai Chi coiling, and to also connect to um, embrace the tiger and return to the mountain. And so those videos have been included, and you'll recall those quite easily. And so we're going to gradually go into those. Let's first start off with the two movements. Well, keep them balanced, expelling the chi, getting rid of the chi, and then also bringing in the chi, pouring into the bai hui. Okay, so we'll start off with those, use those two movements to just kind of get into the spirit of Qigong, the mindset, and yeah, actually, you know what? Let's actually do the warming up movements. Let's do that first. So, Margaret shaking it out. Yeah, thanks for the reminder there. Let's uh let's start with those warming movements that are good for the joints. And let's connect to the breath. So we're shaking out the wrists, shaking out the fingers, shaking out the tissues of the forearms. Then it moves to the whole arm as you shake your shoulders. Feeling that in the trapezius, feeling that in the neck, maybe even in the base of the skull, all the way down to the fingers. And then whole body bouncing. Whole body bouncing and turning to the sides. Connecting now to the ground. Connecting the mind to the ground. Connecting the whole mind to the feet, all the way to the fingertips. And now alternate your shakes from side to side. It's a little quicker, a little more quickly. Yeah, feel that rotation motion going through. Good. Okay, now swing the arms. Feel the torso moving, stretching. Feel the lower back opening. Feel the connection of the feet to the ground. Feel the torque and feel that energy come up from the feet into the torso, all the way into the shoulders, arms, fingertips as you slap your body. Great. Bring it down to a slow stop, slow still, stand still. Let's do some hip circling. If you recall Taiji tailbone Qigong, we're going to relax the knees, relax the ankles, feel the body's weight in the thighs and in the legs. And we're going to start from the center and slowly spiral out, using the tailbone as reference. And if the tailbone's pointing down to the ground, just imagine you're drawing a nice smooth spiral with your tailbone as you circle the hips out. Feel looseness in the hip joints, feel looseness in the lower back. Feel the hip flexors releasing and opening. Let's turn to the side. Regulate your breathing, deep abdominal breathing. And let's turn to the other side. And now let's come back to the center. And before we draw our spirals in the center, see how much you can stretch your range of motion and exaggerate the movement. You'll you might need to bend your knees, squat down a little farther to get that hip circles in. And so once you do that, now start to draw your spirals back into center and slowly rise up. Try to view in the mind's eye as well that center as you spiral inward. And then just kind of stay in that center for a moment, a couple of breath cycles here. And now we're going to change directions. So again, from the center here, slowly spiraling out. Start by envisioning with the mind's eye the spiral. Let that energy now go into the physical cells and the physical tissues, manifesting in the hip joint as you use your tailbone as a reference. And then you can bend your knees, bend your ankles to start sinking the weight. So remember, the spiral is the Taiji pattern. Spiral is the same pattern found in nature, from seashells to snails, sunflowers, from the smallest of organisms to the largest. Weather occurrences like hurricanes, tornadoes. Turn to the other side. And so this is the same pattern that we try to mimic and utilize as we try to harmonize with nature, as we manifest movement from the body using nature's pattern, drawing on nature's example. Coming back to center now, and go ahead and expand your range of motion. Feel the movement at those boundaries. Also feel the warmth and feel the lubrication of the hip joint, maybe even the lower back, as you slowly warm up the center of mass and the center of gravity. Spiraling inward, you can go ahead and rise, straightening the legs, honing in on center, eventually coming to a standstill, feeling this space and this energy of center, feeling it resonate from the center of your mass, center of your being, through the whole body. Nice deep breaths here. Now we're going to go into expelling the chi, pouring out the chi, sinking the weight, bending the knees, closing spine to prepare. That's exhale. And inhale, pushing into the earth, opening spine, lifting hands and arms. Exhaling out over down. Breathing comfortably, breathing naturally. If you need to take a breath cycle here, that is totally fine. Preparing for the next one, bending the knees, sinking the weight, closing spine, engaging hands and arms, rising, inhaling, lifting hands and arms, opening spine. Exhaling, releasing tension, breathing comfortably, naturally. Let's turn to the side. Just a nice 45-degree turn. Same thing, inhaling, opening. Exhaling. Expand the mind out, feeling, sensing, out around you, below you, above you. Inhaling again, repeating. Exhaling out, down. Let's turn to the other side. At your own pace now, harmonizing breath and body regulation. Keeping the movement slow, smooth, and continuous. In these simple movements, you want to try to start mastering these foundational principles like keeping slow, smooth, continuous movement, harmonizing breath and body, engaging all the bows. Turning back to center now to balance the um, exercise. We'll change directions now. Inhaling now. Use the mind to gather the chi from up all around you. Place the mind on the top of the head, Bai Hui. Bring the energy down in. See if you can also visualize, feel the Chong Mai, the thrusting vessel, in between the and inside the spinal cord, connecting upper dantian, middle and lower dantian. Repeating, inhale, gathering, exhaling, put the mind on the Bai Hui, top of the head, inviting cosmic chi into the body, into the chi system. Feel yourself in this way connected to heaven chi, connected to cosmic chi. Repeating, inhale again, opening hands, gathering. Mind's exercise here and challenge is to gather all of that energy. Let's turn to the side. Tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth, connecting the conception and governing vessel, creating the conditions for the chi body to harmonize. Let's turn to the other side, do a couple of repetitions just to balance it out. Try to keep the mind focused, expanding, gathering energy, bringing it into the Bai Hui, into the body. Let's come back to center. Take a couple of breath cycles here at center. Just observe your posture, observe your breath. In the next phase, we're going to give ourselves maybe about a 10 to a dozen repetitions, and we're going to explore the hip joints in combination with the arm movement and releasing the body to gravity. So releasing the joints of the legs and allowing the body to descend with gravity. Essentially, simulating, replicating a squat. You're going to rise on inhale, come up, and you're going to take about 10 to a dozen repetitions just to explore your range. Start comfortably, staying in a nice, comfortable range for yourself, and communicate with the joints. Let them communicate and signal back to you, and let you know what they're comfortable with. Stay within that range. Don't make them scream at you. And just relaxing and releasing on the exhale as you release the body to gravity. Just letting yourself coming into a squat position. See how it feels when you favor one side over another. So you'll put more weight on one side, favor that side. Inhaling that chi as you rise, exhaling, releasing the tissues as you descend. And you really want to stay in that space of relaxation, the Qigong space. Feeling the joints loose, opening, feeling the tissues lengthening and opening. And in transition, before you rise, you want to feel yourself maybe solid in a nice squatting position, horse stance, as you transition from descending to ascending, and you're feeling yourself push into the earth. Now you're feeling a lot of things, feeling the thighs also lighting up, talking to you. You might be feeling the heart rate coming up, the lung rate as well. You might have the breath pace wanting to change. The breath pace will maybe increase, wanting to get more oxygen into the system. So those are all things to watch for. Knowing that you're, pumping the largest muscles in the body, the legs, which is consequently going to, you know, ask the heart and lungs to pump more as well. So um, remember we talked about getting into that Qigong space and then going into the training and going into the work. And so this is how Tai Chi becomes moving meditation. This is how, well, any movement, given these principles, can become a moving meditation, maintaining the softness, maintaining the relaxation, the breath regulation, um, and in this case, squatting and releasing the body to gravity. So this movement takes us to our, and this exercise takes us to embrace the tiger and return to the mountain. Geez, bee, shoe fly. So I'll demonstrate that. You can try it, whatever you like. You can take a breather there. And so I just want to demonstrate to you. So the embrace the tiger, return to the mountain in our form, the Tai Chi form, it finishes each chapter of the form after sealed tightly is the name. And so from here, we come to cross the center. Notice the hand movement. And then I drop the body's weight into this right knee, right leg. And then I come to center. And so if we're closing Tai Chi, we'll come all the way up and we'll close. If we're between chapters in the Tai Chi form, we'll stay in a horse stance. Here, and then we'll go into the next one. Go into the next chapter. But that's the embrace the tiger, return to the mountain. And so when we do embrace the tiger, return to the mountain, what are the principles and what are the foundational elements that we want to bring into the posture? So this is what I've presented so far. Using that arm movement, using the relaxation Qigong. And rather than thinking, well, I have to get into and do a squatting position or posture, just allowing the body to release, to gravity, right? This is the roadmap to the form and the posture, and what I've started you on in terms of exploring the squat. Okay, so you can see like where the movement is going, and then a little bit of the roadmap of how we get there, exploring the squat, slowly taking time to build up the strength in the thighs, building the strength in the the quads, hamstrings as well, and maintaining upright posture. All of these, they take time. Any questions on that before I move on to exploring the upper body coiling movement? We're going to go to that as well. Legs feel nice and warmed up. Yeah. Hip joints are feeling loose and warm. Okay, good. Got a couple of thumbs up there. Good. Okay, so we'll give the back and give the legs a little bit of a breather there. We're going to go into the arm movement, the coiling movement. And so remember, we're revisiting the Tai Chi pattern and we're envisioning our spiral. So in that, this is a large circle. We want to connect the large circle to a series of smaller circles, right? In this front view, you can't really see the spiral manifest, but if I give you the side view here, you'll see how the large circles are eventually part of the spiral. So you can see how I extend my arms and hands, the circles become smaller, almost pretty much a three-dimensional movement, and I've actually changed directions. Now I'm at the end of the spiral with my large arm circles, and then exploring the spiral going into smaller circles. What I think we haven't gone over is one arm, right? So today we're gonna do one arm, because I know you guys have done the double arm exercise and movement. So we want to explore the single arm. We want to explore a single arm. The other hand's going to stay at the abdomen because we want to connect to our root. When we move the arm to the side, we're using our rotation along with connecting to the feet. So that's going to give us our horizontal movement of the arm. And remember, the vertical movement is going to be facilitated by spine, opening and closing the spine. And so this is how the movement becomes a whole body movement. And so let's just start with these yang circles. Large, smooth, comfortable yang circles. You're feeling the movement originate in the dantian, or it's directed by the waist, but and originating in the feet. But you want to feel the dantian closely rooted and in relationship with the arm and the hand. So as you draw these large circles, start to get an idea and envision the spiral that you'll draw with the arm and with the hand. You might see it, already directly in front of you. So as you manifest that spiral via the arm and hand, go ahead and make the circles smaller and smaller, just nicely, comfortably, naturally, until eventually the circles become so small and you find that single point in the spiral. And that's going to be in your fingertip. Let that go into the index finger. Let the spiral finish right in your index finger. Engage wrist, engage hand and finger, and then eventually it finishes in the index finger. And don't forget that the whole body is involved, so you still have rotation of the waist. You still have opening and closing of the spine. And now start to draw those spirals larger and larger, coming back along that spiral path, circling back to the center, to the torso. And now we're going to change hands. So this hand's going to come to the abdomen. We're going to change hands, pick up the other arm. Large yang circles. Remember what is yang and what is yin. See if you can incorporate the whole body, all 6 body bows, including minor bows. And it's an exercise like this that helps you discover all the minor bows, the nuanced movements in the legs or in the arms, wrists, and fingers. And go ahead and draw your spiral. Circles becoming smaller and smaller, finishing at the fingertip. See what it feels like as well when you get to center of the spiral. Take a second, take a breath cycle and stop right at the center there. And, and then bring the spiral back in. Small circles, gradually becoming larger and larger. Using the body to draw the circles. When you get back to the center, you're going to switch hands again. And now, just on your own, take some repetitions and take some time to draw yang circles and maybe a spiral or two spirals, but then also switch to yin circles. So for those of you that know how to switch from yin to yang utilizing the S pattern, now switch to yin circles and just go ahead and move freely and switch from yin to yang as you like. You could even switch from yin to yang mid spiral. Mid spiral, you can switch from yin to yang. So you're going to really have fun with the arm circles. Remember, the important thing to remember is keeping the mind focused and situated in the dantian as a root. So that's why it's good to use the other hand at the dantian. Helps to connect to the breath as well. So now you can start to, if you're seeing the spirals and circles that you're drawing, you're also able to see the S patterns, and you should be able to see yin yang symbol as well. And feel free to switch hands as well. Now, given the movement and given the arms, hands, given the patterns, see how much freedom you can explore and see how much diversity you can explore as well. Yeah, that's good. Don't forget to do small circles. If you like, you can incorporate both arms rather than just one at a time. You can incorporate both arms, draw spirals, circles with both, and then they can also switch using S, yin yang pattern as well. I don't know if you're able to do one yin and one yang. That might be might rattle the cage a little bit. So we're going to put everything together now, and we're going to include this pattern and this movement and integrate it into embrace the tiger and return to the mountain. Okay. So we're going to have fun and explore the freedom given the embrace tiger, given the um, yang and yin spirals and circles, and play with the movement with that. So remember that the embrace the tiger, return to the mountain is now going to incorporate the lower body. So we want to get a wide base. And at your leisure, as you desire, you're going to use a yang circle to drop into one side. Use a yang circle to drop into one side. And so this is going to be, maybe you do, a spiral, you come to center, maybe you do 3 or 4 circles, 5 circles, repetitions, whatever, it doesn't matter. At some point, you're going to use one of those circles and you're going to drop down. You can stay down. For someone who's got long legs, oh, they can stay there. Remember, we're exploring the freedom given the exercises, so I can just stay here if I want. Do my spirals if I want to focus on some leg strength, getting some leg strength, honing in on the posture. But then I can use the legs to go to the other side. If I want to go to the other side as well, I can explore the freedom in that as well. Letting the hand now also follow the leg movement. And then so I'll come back up and I'll sort of say, whoa, hold on there. Not so fast, tiger. Let myself just kind of get into the flow, back into the rhythm, back into relaxation. And remember, you're exploring as much freedom as you can, so you're switching hands as well. If you want to do both hands, that's up to you. So you're free to explore the freedom and as many possibilities as you can, given these parameters and the parameters set by these movements. And if I was with Dr. Yang, my teacher, he'd probably say, yeah, until you can stay down there for 20 minutes, then you've attained the first level. So he would probably set that precedent. Usually there was some sort of endurance factor that was incorporated into movements. So what happens is the movement starts to upregulate the system. You have to see the body, see the systems responding, down regulate, when needed. Because this movement, as you become, as you go into the movement, explore the ranges, explore the freedom, explore the stance, it's going to upregulate all the systems, heart, lung, mental, possibly. Always coming back to center, always coming back to the original standing posture. That's going to help restore the relaxed state, restore the Qigong state, which is always where you want to be working from and getting back to. Let's go ahead and bring that to a close. Coming back to center. All of that dynamic movement, bringing it in, bringing the mind back into the body, bringing the mind back into the Dantian. Now restricting the movement to the abdomen, restricting the movement to the lower torso where abdomen is expanding and contracting, lower back is expanding and contracting, pelvic floor engaged. Now the movement in the exercise is restricted just to the lower abdomen and torso, lower torso. And feel this movement connected to the breath. Feel breath and body in harmony here. And we'll bring this session to a close. We're going to just revisit the posture and the three powers, heaven, man, and earth, Qi. So spine erect, chin tucked in, head slightly lifted. Feeling the earth under you, feet connected, feeling the sky above you, head connected, feeling yourself in between. And feeling these three powers connected. Try to feel the comfort and the relaxation here. Try to enter that state of Wu Ji as deep as you can, stillness, emptiness, vastness, potential. Deep breath. And that will complete the session for today. Good job out there.